This is Win News.
Tonight, a youth arrested over an arson attack in Orange. Quick action averts a potential disaster in Lithgow. And Dubbo Council staff pitch in to help fight fires. Good evening, I'm Jeff Phillips. Police say a grass fire on a vacant suburban block in Orange last night was started deliberately. A 17-year-old male was arrested at the scene and later charged with a string of offences. Fire officers were horrified that a blaze would be deliberately lit and have branded the act as brainless. Peter Freestone has the story.
Fire and rescue crews and police were quickly on the scene of last night's grass fire on vacant land in Lone Pine Avenue. In the light of day, the blackened area is relatively small, but owing to yesterday's extreme fire conditions, there was potential for disaster.
That did make it difficult to extinguish the fire. It was extremely fast moving, and any fire that's lit during a total fire ban is just asking for trouble.
Quick work prevented a potential disaster, but authorities say it was a close call. Matt Jeffrey says a couple of minutes later and the whole neighbourhood would have been threatened.
Fortunately, we were there in quick time, and our second truck, which happened to be on the road at the same time, followed us quickly as well. So it was confined just to a grass paddock.
Some debris was still smouldering this morning. Yesterday's strong winds and high temperatures were a recipe for fire disaster, and windy conditions continued well into the night. Fire and rescue knew time was of the essence responding to the blaze.
Could have escalated to something a bit uglier, but with quick response by the fire services, we were able to extinguish that fire.
It's alleged the fire was deliberately lit. A youth was apprehended by police at the scene.
He was arrested, taken to Orange Police Station and charged with several offences, including malicious damage by fire and deposit lit object onto the road, as well as disregarding the Minister's directions in relation to total fire bans.
The youth was granted strict bail conditions to appear at Orange Children's Court next month.
It's disappointing when you hear of these, or when we get responded to these sorts of incidents. It puts our lives in danger, puts the lives of the public in danger, and it really was a brainless act.
Police are very concerned about this type of behaviour and the potential for property damage and for injury to people.
Peter Freestone, Win News.
A potentially disastrous fire on the edge of the Lithgow township is tonight under control. With adjoining rugged bushland tinder dry at the moment, it could have been a major outbreak.
The township of Lithgow awoke this morning to a nightmare story that so many others around the country have been living. Fire was burning out of control and potentially heading their way.
About 4 o'clock this morning, we had the police knock on the door, giving us evacuation orders. I walked outside and this whole hill was like glowing bright red.
Jackie Harper's first thought was to keep calm and to make sure everyone else was safe.
Didn't really over panic, just get the hoses and stuff ready and calm the young bloke down, because I'm a 10-year-old. So.
An outbreak in the mountains behind Lithgow was just 3 kilometres from the township. Police quickly door-knocked residents to alert them to the danger. Overhead, several water-bombing choppers were attempting to douse the flames. The blaze was raging over rugged terrain uncomfortably close to homes. Early this morning, locals were keeping a close watch and were shocked at the ferocity of the blaze.
Lots of flames. The sky was glowing fairly well. Burning up the mountain, you could see the lines of fire.
There were many tense moments for those residents in the potential path of the fire. They were at the mercy of the elements.
As long as the wind didn't change, we were all right.
Marie Welsh was called by her husband early and alerted to the danger. Like other residents, all she could do was watch and hope that the wind did not change. Her first thoughts were about the safety of her family.
Just getting everything organised. We got a little plan together, what we were going to take, so got it all put on the bed, and just virtually get them, go, get the dogs.
By late morning, the 50 ground crew and aircraft support had containment lines shaping. By mid-afternoon, the danger to the town had passed. All up, about 40 hectares had been burned. Neil McLean,